What's up, guys?
Well, Kamaru, over here. We just spoke with you a bit at that Q&A panel of the 30th anniversary. At the time, you didn't have any news of a fight. Have you talked to Dana or anyone while you were in town?
Guys, the thing is, and I see a lot of people, they obviously you've heard about the whole Khamzat situation. Anybody want to hear that, see that? I went into Dana's office and I said, hey, okay, this is the guy you guys are saying that is the next, the next guy in the division. Okay, give me that guy. I said that to Dana. At the end of the day, I have been and still is the boogeyman of this division. I asked for the guy. If you want to fight, you want to be a champion, cut the fucking weight and come and fight. I asked for the fight. He's saying he's the boogeyman of the division, and I think he's a really, really good fighter. Very, very good fighter. I like the guy. But hey, you want to fight? Cut the weight and let's fight. Be disciplined. He don't want to do that anymore, He's got money now. He's loving the life and he's living good. He don't want to cut the weight. He wants to eat and he wants to move the goalposts for him. No, you want to be champion. This is the gold standard right here. Cut the weight and let's make it happen.
So when you say yesterday the logistical reasons were why the fight didn't happen, was it the weight issue, the weight class, no catch weight and all that kind of stuff?
You got to ask him. That's a logistical reason. I've always been I've been a champion. I've made the weight even before I was a champion, and I continue to make the weight. So, he wants to fight. Let's make the weight and let's make the fight happen. I'm not going nowhere. I'm right here.
So if they approached you and said, would you take it at 185, you wouldn't do that?
But why would they approach me for 185? He's ranked what? Number 3, right? Isn't he? In what division? Welterweight. You want to fight? Let's fight.
So say that fight doesn't happen, is there any other names that you would want? Because I remember even after Bilal, before he fought Gilbert, was like, I'll fight Kamaru if they're going to give Colby to Leon.
Yeah, I think right now the only other name that's out there is probably Bilal. Who else makes sense? It's Bilal. So, Khamzat is, at the end of the day, this guy keeps flirting with me online. He's flirting back and forth with me online. At this point, he's just using me for clout. If you want to fight, cut the weight and let's fight. If not, stop using me for clout. Stop flirting with me online.
Have you given the UFC a deadline or anything on make this fight happen or I'm just going to move on with this?
No, there's no point to give the UFC a deadline. These guys do their job well, Hunter, Sean, Mick, these guys do their job well. I let them do their job and I do my job, which is train. They give me a name, I go in there and I beat them up.
The final one for me, unrelated to Khamzat, but Robbie Lawler just retired, and arguably one of the greatest retirements we've seen in just this sport, not just this promotion. So what was your reaction to what we saw from Robbie?
It was great. I think at the end when he kind of started getting emotional, tearing up a little bit, it kind of got to me a little bit because me and him, we spent a little bit of time together when I'm down in Florida and just kind of trying to, that's the thing with me, I always like to put myself in how people feel and how people receive things, and just trying to put myself in that place, in that position. Man, he must, to be honest, I can't really imagine right now what he feels.
Kamaru, back here. Yesterday I asked you about your mindset switch from being a champion to being the hunter. I want to ask you another question about your mindset. So obviously you got finished by Leon in August, right? And then the next fight, it was very, very, very close, and you took some heavy shots, but your confidence was still the same. Was there ever a moment, ever a sequence in that fight where you realized, you know what, maybe I am still that guy, you know what I mean? Because it can definitely hurt your ego after being finished like that.
In the second Leon fight, correct?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The third.
Yeah,
third.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I've said it, it's no secret. I think I came back a little too fast because there was a lot of things that I don't care to discuss right now that was going on in that camp. It just, in my head, I should have kind of given it a little bit more time to kind of regroup and get to where I needed to get to. But, that was the date, and I went out there and I tried to perform anyways. At the end of the day, that's not a Kamaru Usman fight. When was the last time you guys saw a Kamaru Usman fight that was close? It's not. So, the result went the way it went. But, yeah, I think in the beginning of the fight, it was kind of trying to get my bearings. But towards the end of that fight, I was just like, I am that fucking guy. Let's make this shit happen. But by that time, it's kind of a little too late. But, it is what it is. We regroup. But like I've said, I'm still here. And I want to go in there. When I do get back in there, just put on the best Kamaru Usman that, you guys are used to seeing.
And my last one, you seem to be someone that really has these very deep moments of reflection. Right now, at this stage of your career, what are those reflections like, if you'd care to let us know?
They're like, watching Robbie Lawler retire. And it's like watching Jose Aldo and the Nogueira brothers get inducted into a Hall of Fame. And it's like, my daughter turns 9 in 2 weeks. It's like, shit, where'd the time go? It's just that. And taking all that in and just my current state and my physical abilities and my mental abilities, just trying to basically put all that together. If it's stepping back in there and performing, stepping back in there and performing. If it's not, then it's not.
Kamaru, just down here. Down here, hi. We just saw Dricus du Plessis finish Robert Whittaker. I'm just curious, obviously you were cage-side, what you thought of that?
Yeah, it was good. He caught him with a good shot, and he was able to jump on him and get the finish. It was a good sequence. I think him versus Israel should be an interesting fight, but of course, Israel always has my vote.
What did you think of their interaction in the cage?
Interesting. Interesting.
Kamaru over here.
Yeah.
Again, I know he's already booked up, but I was always curious, would you ever fight Shavkat Rakhmonov? I know he does train a bit at Killcliff. I know you kind of go back and forth between Denver and Killcliff. Is that a fight you would ever take, or is there kind of an unwritten rule you won't fight each other? Yeah,
it's a fight I would take for the title. That's the thing is, at the end of the day, every man wants to be the champion. Like, we get into this, when you get to the top of the sport, you want to be a champion. So who am I to deny him when I'm the champion, deny him of a shot at the championship? I'm not. But if it's not for the championship and we happen to train with the exact same coach, like, why? What's the point?
Yeah, for sure. Were you surprised that he ended up getting Gastelum as an opponent? Because with that win over Jeff Neal, the first guy to finish Jeff in the octagon, some people felt like maybe he was going to get like a bigger name, like closer to a title shot,
Kelvin Gastelum is a bigger name. Yeah. Kelvin Gastelum fought for the title. Kelvin Gastelum has beat multiple champions. Kelvin Gastelum is a big name, and Kelvin Gastelum can fight. Let's not forget that. One of the biggest classic, Kelvin Gastelum versus Israel Adesanya. So we can't forget that. Like, I get it, as a young, streaking, a hot guy, but we can't forget Kelvin Gastelum is a dog in there too.
Yeah, for sure. No, I sort of meant because he was at middleweight, he's coming back down. But I get what you're saying, obviously, with the Izzy fight. And then, obviously, it looks like Colby is going to end up fighting Leon Edwards. Just, were you surprised to see the UFC went that route instead of maybe going with Bilal Muhammad?
No, Colby's been up there for a long time. It's just that, like I've said before, in the era that he exists, he has to live with the fact that Kamaru Usman was better. But Colby is a good fighter, very, very, very good fighter. If I'm not there, Colby's the champion. So I think that's a fight, and if Colby's able to get that win, who knows?
Just last one for me: does he beat Leon? Do you think, or do you think Leon has his number?
I think he definitely can. But Leon is sharp. When he's able to get off and has the opportunity to do what he does, I think he can land some things. But Colby's relentless pressure and pace. It kind of trumps a lot of the guys. And he fights a little different than me. Like, I'm going to hit you with shots that are going to put you out. For him, he's going to hit you with shots that are just going to drain you. So, we'll see. I'll be watching that fight closely.
Kamaru back here. Kamaru, going back to Robbie Lawler a little bit. When you were on the way up toward the title, obviously he was there and had recently held the belt. You guys just never crossed paths. Was that ever one that you thought would happen and it just, never materialized for you versus Robbie?
Yeah, the crazy thing is Robbie was a champion right when I was an Ultimate Fighter. And they actually came in and spoke with us. And that was one thing that he was speaking, as he's speaking and I'm sitting in the room and I'm listening to him speak, I'm imagining myself taking that belt off of him. And so it's crazy to become teammates with him later on. And this is a guy that's been a legend. He's He's been in the game for a long, long time, put on many exciting fights. You know, if Robbie Lawler's fighting, everyone's tuning in. So, you know, it's a guy that I'm going to enjoy now, spending a little bit of time with and just, you know, getting to understand and pick his brain a lot more.
Wasn't that your over here? Didn't you win the Ultimate Fighter the day
Yes.
after the Rory fight?
I think I did.
So when
Yes,
you're a
actually,
young, when you're a
yes.
young fighter watching that, you're just like, Jesus Christ, like this is what we're doing.
It's like, Jesus Christ, that's where I'm going to be. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.